Olá, pessoal. Olá. Estou vendo aqui que já temos algumas pessoas entrando. Maravilha. Bruno, você já está aí? Se tiver aí, já dá um alô. Pessoal, vocês estão com o áudio ok, com o vídeo ok? Dá um alô aqui no chat, por favor. Só para confirmar que está tudo funcionando. Estou chamando o Brendon aqui já. Perfeito, Fábio, obrigado. Show. Galera, já temos aqui alguns participantes. Me diz aqui, por favor, no chat, vocês conseguiram assistir a palestra dessa manhã do webinário do Kevin Carr? Coloquem aqui, por favor, o que vocês acharam. Deem algum feedback aqui para nós, porque essa foi a primeira, né? O primeiro webinar de uma sequência aí que a gente vai começar a fazer. Então, é uma nova área de educação que a gente vai explorar, né? Então, o feedback de vocês, que são os maiores interessados, é sempre muito importante. Escreve aqui no chat ou no Q&A, aqui nesse Q&A, para a gente poder sempre estar aperfeiçoando, sempre poder estar melhorando essa plataforma, né? Estou vendo aqui já a Andresa tá aí, Domício, Eduardo Oliveira, Fabiano, Fábio, Wellington, William. Sejam bem-vindos, muito bem-vindos e bem-vinda. O Brendon já falou aqui que está entrando. Oh, look who is here.
Bom dia.
Bom dia. How are you, buddy?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How is the weather in California?
Warm and sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah, hot today. It's well, no, it's windy here. It was 105 all last week, but this week it's 85.
Okay, good. And did you see too much protests over there?
Not where we live now, but in the main cities, yeah. I mean, I'm sure nothing compared to Atlanta though.
Man,
Atlanta is,
the situation here is serious.
yeah, and I mean, it makes sense though. Atlanta's the heart of that campaign and the protest.
Yeah, and makes sense, right? You know the country better than me. I didn't expect anything different.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
It is what it is. I think people start to realize better, and I like it. The police officers' reaction last week. Did you see this?
Yeah.
Was really good. I think it was a very good strategy to calm down people and relax.
Yeah.
Was good.
Not all places did that, but
No.
a lot of them did though, which was great.
Yeah. And how is Rainy with you?
She is. She's playing in her room right now.
Oh.
I can get her to make a guest appearance.
Yes, please put her on the camera when Bruno starts to translate, because we need to see people understanding about this new coach that you are building, a new coach.
Only
right?
10 more years till she takes my spot.
Oh yeah, and you can just
15.
Relax.
Yeah, I can just relax.
Mm-hmm.
About time, right?
Hey, Bruno.
Hey guys, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, I need to make you the translator.
Yes.
Translator guy. Start.
Put me on my function here. So I'm gonna give it the okay and we can start. And all right, Brendon, let's do it, man. One more.
Let's go. One more.
Yes, sir.
Put it on the list. Are you sick of me yet? You sick of translating for me yet, or what?
Dude, we're regulars. Like, I feel like we're so in tune. Like, I almost know what you're gonna say before you open your mouth. It's like we see each other every week.
This is true.
I see you more than my family.
It's true.
Yeah.
This is good. This is good.
Great.
We're family now.
We'll have to. Yeah, we are. We'll have to go on tour next year.
Yeah, definitely, please. But let's do it physically, not virtually.
Yeah.
No more screen
all
time.
All around the country.
Yes.
Felix
Please,
will
let's do
chauffeur
that.
us around.
Yeah, you have to. You have to visit all states, all these states.
All of them. Florianopolis.
Florianopolis.
Let's start with that, please.
That's our first stop.
Yes. And Bruno is a good surfing guy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, my Instagram surfs way better than I do these days. You know.
I can get up on a surfboard. I'm not any good, but I learned in Costa Rica.
Oh, yeah.
So
Nice.
Legitimate waves, not no, I didn't wear a wetsuit or anything. So
Yeah.
All you got to do is look cool carrying it on the beach, and that's all, man. It's all about the pictures.
Yeah, and then you just gotta swim on it. You don't even have to get up. You just
Exactly. Just show off.
body surf.
Yeah.
All right, here I go.
Okay.
Okay, it's a few more minutes.
Did you have Kevin on today?
Yes, we had Kevin today. It was really good.
Good. Are you recording?
Huh?
Are you recording this?
Yeah, it's recording this. We are recording this. 1 minute.
Got it. Where is he? Just ups and leaves. He's late. He's late to his own webinar. Oh, Felix. I like all his toy cars back there. You think he plays with them on his desk?
Okay. Okay.
Do you ever play with the cars on your desk?
Yeah. Did you see here? And I create like some accidents. Ah, help me. No, I'll kill you. Yeah, this is how I kill my time here.
Yeah, playing with your toy cars.
Very good. So, pessoal, muito obrigado por estarem aqui. Eu vou passar algumas instruções primeiro em português. Aqui embaixo na tela você pode ver um símbolo do globo terrestre, né, com o nome Interpretation. Se você quer a tradução, clica ali naquele botão, você vai ver a opção de tradução em português. Você tem que deixar esse canal aberto para o português para que você possa ouvir a tradução do Bruno. Se quiserem fazer perguntas, o bloquinho do lado do Interpretation, você vê o Q e A, Q&A, ali que você vai deixar as suas perguntas. O chat, que já tem algumas pessoas escrevendo ali, é para um ajudar um outro, né? Se alguém chegar e fizer algumas perguntas, principalmente sobre o botão de tradução, vocês, por favor, ajudem aí e possam colaborar com essas pessoas que estão chegando. Brendon, thank you so much for this second webinar. We are very excited to have you here. You are one of the co-founders of CFSC, very smart guy, and we love to have your skills, your brain working really hard. And I hope Brazilians can also learn more and more from you. Thanks, Bruno, for this translation process again. We could not do this stuff without you. And for all you attendees here, participants and trainers and coaches, thank you so much to be here. Brendon, the mic is yours.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Is it obrigado?
Obrigado.
That's thank you, right? Or you're welcome.
Yeah, don't say obrigada.
Right. Obrigado.
Because if you say obrigado, you can complicate yourself.
Okay, I got it. All right. And tamo junto? See?
Excellent. Tamo junto.
All right. I've been practicing. Okay, well, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. Today I'm going to share with you is a bit of my exercise checklist product. I will not give you the whole thing. The whole thing is actually 6 hours of video and about 150 slides and 30 documents. I'm going to give you the overview of the entire product and the process of creating checklists for your training. And a little teaser here, this will be translated into Portuguese, or is currently being translated into Portuguese, and will be available in the next few months, correct?
Yeah, let's say maybe end of July.
Okay.
Because we are working on the translation process, on the subtitles. We already did 4 videos, but the material is so big, a lot of information. And we want to make sure that all the videos will have subtitles. So people, Brazilians, we are working on this subtitles process for the Brendon Rearick checklist digital material.
So I'm going to give everyone here about a 20 to 25 minute overview, but the rest, there's much more to it than what I'm about to show you. Felix, do you want me to just run through these slides and then let them ask questions?
Yes, you make you the host and you can share your...
All right. Okay. Here we go here. You enter full screen. And you can see this?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, so we're kind of starting in the middle of the lecture here, but the big premise of this product or creating exercise checklists is that the best way that we've found through Mike Boyle's strength and conditioning, certified functional strength coach, and from my own experience training lots and lots of athletes and people, the best way to make programming less time consuming and tedious is to create one program that grabs 80% of your clients. Now, there's a small subset of 20% of people that will not fall into this program, and that I would consider the art of coaching. So that's where your experience comes in and your ability to adjust and make changes. Now, this one program we call our regression progression sheet. So for example, if I have 10 people training with me, and everybody on that, out of all those 10 people are going to do a split squat, I would guess that 80% of those people can start with a body weight split squat for 8 reps. And 20% of those people are either going to need something easier, like a supported split squat, or they're going to need something harder, a split squat where you're using external load or weights, or you're jumping. A jump lunge is a explosive split squat. So the way to make programming easier is to create one program or one checklist of regressions and progressions and give that to all of your people and then make adjustments. Because a lot of people still spend their entire day Sunday, like today or the weekend, writing out individual programs for everybody. I haven't written an individual program in almost 10 years. So when I started out my career, I actually started by writing every single client their own individual program. And I realized this is not a fun way to program, and it's sucking up my entire weekend, 6 to 8 hours of my time. And that's when we started moving towards these regression progression sheets. Now, the challenge of making a checklist or a regression progression sheet or a program that's simple, safe, and scalable for 80% of your people, that is the challenge that I'm going to present to all of you today. And I'm going to show you how to complete that challenge or how to overcome that. And it's a very tall task, right? So how do you write this program so that your stronger people don't get held back, that your weaker or deconditioned people don't get left behind, that nobody gets hurt? Because remember, if people are hurt and injured, they're not paying you money and they're not getting any better. So everybody loses and everyone succeeds. So it's a very, very tall task to do this with one program. I will spare everyone where this came from. Just know the book Checklist Manifesto is what brought this idea about for me personally. The checklists create consistency, they create quality control, and they create repeatable results. And if anyone owns a business, which everybody on this call owns their own business, because if you're a trainer, you are the business. You are selling yourself to people. So therefore you own a business, whether you like it or not, or think so or not. How do we create consistency, quality control, and repeatable results? Because those 3 things are what keep people around and make us a lot of money and make us valuable as coaches. The martial arts is the perfect example of a progression regression culture. So when you build sheets, regression progression sheets, or checklists like this, it creates a culture between your people that you train, but also the gym that you train at, that makes sure that everyone abides by these certain standards in order to move on to the next level. And martial arts is the best example of this. So if you have 30 new people show up into your dojo or into your martial arts class or karate class, it doesn't matter how big, how strong, how much training you've had on the outside. Everyone starts as a white belt, and you have to earn your way to a yellow belt, an orange belt, a green belt, a blue belt, purple, red, brown, and finally you get to a black belt. It takes people 5 to 7 years sometimes to get to a black belt of consistent training. And I want to think of exercises and training like martial arts thinks about belts. Now, as trainers, we are way too quick, in my opinion, as an industry, as a whole, to hand people a barbell. Anything with a barbell is a black belt exercise. You have not earned the right to put a barbell on your back, over your head, until you've mastered certain mobility drills, stability drills, fitness drills, and then you can go to performance. There's a lot of classes still where the first thing they do is, hey, welcome, it's your first day. Here's a barbell, put it over your head. And that scares the hell out of me because you didn't check any of the belts. Now, if I'm going to use an example, we have goblets, we have assisted split squat. Is a white belt. That is the easiest version of a split squat. Assisted split squat, your hand is on a roller, your hand is on PVC pipes, your hand is on a chair. That is the easiest version of a split squat. A yellow belt would then move to a split squat hold for short duration. Now, people will argue that split squat holds or isometrics are more difficult. Yes, if you hold them for 30 seconds to a minute, much more difficult. But if you hold them for a short amount of time, say 5 seconds, it's actually a regression. Then orange belt, we have bodyweight split squat. Then we go to goblet split squat. Then we go to rear foot elevated split squat with my foot up on a bench. Then we go goblet, rear foot elevated split squat. And then we go to dumbbell. And that's where we go for performance and we start increasing the weight. Now, there are versions of the rear foot elevated split squat where you can go a barbell here or you can go a barbell on your back. For us, those are not the black belt exercise. We stop at 2 dumbbells until we don't have any more weights. So that means if you can hold the 120-pound dumbbells or the 60 kg dumbbells in each hand, you're plenty strong enough. So for us, we don't go front or back because of the risks of putting a barbell on our back are just not worth the reward. But if you want to, you can, as long as you've checked off each of these belts or each of these boxes. Now, where do you begin when you start making a checklist? So first, we've decided or we defined what needs a checklist or a regression or progression. So at CFSC and MBSC, we call these our big rocks or big rock exercises. What are the main things we want everyone to be able to do? And what are the things that most good athletes or good movers or people who are fit, what are they able to do? So we have 9 different exercises here. Anything I have in parentheses is for adults. Everything on the left is for athletes. If I don't have parentheses, then it's for both. So with our athletes, we want our athletes to be able to hang clean, and we want our adults to be able to kettlebell swing. Adults, we don't hang clean because it's not worth the risk, and most adults don't have the shoulder mobility to do a hang clean. So athletes hang clean, adults kettlebell swing. Athletes dumbbell snatch, adults overhead press. Everybody single leg squats. Everybody does rear foot elevated split squats. Everybody does single leg deadlifts. Our athletes do chin-ups. Our adults do dumbbell rows. Everybody does push-ups. Our athletes do slide board and crossover drills. Adults do lateral lunges. Athletes jump, throw, and sprint for performance. So we jump, throw, and sprint for adults, but just to maintain what they have. We don't pursue performance there. For adults, I would much rather see that they can do a Turkish get-up with an appreciable amount of weight, because a Turkish get-up, getting up and down off the ground, is very, very important for longevity as we age. So these are the 9 things we want our athletes and adults to be able to do. And if I had an athlete or adult come in day 1, never worked out with me before, and they were able to do all 9 of these things, I would be very impressed. I'd be very happy, because that means we can probably do whatever we want. And I would consider this person fit for whatever it is they want to do. So when we make these sheets, the checklists, we have our big rock at the top. Our next thing will be this FMS screen. Now, we use the FMS screen because all of our exercises are rooted in those movements. You don't have to use it. It's just what we prefer. All I care is that you have some sort of movement screening system that goes with your big rock. And I'll explain more as we go here. Then we have soft tissue and mobility. So soft tissue and mobility come first. If you can't get into the position, warm-up, stability, patterning, and fitness don't even matter. So if this is my end range shoulder mobility, that's all I have. Should I press anything over my head? Probably not, because the only way to get my arm over my head would be to use my back or my neck to do it. So that's why soft tissue and mobility have to come first. Next, we have warm-up, stability, and patterning. So these are low-level drills without speed and without external resistance, but they're still important to be able to do before we do the things that I've dubbed as fitness. I'll explain more of the definitions between what's warm-up, stability, patterning, and then what is fitness, what's the difference. For our regressions and our progressions, we know that anything that is fast, standing, unsupported, very difficult, in the transverse plane, rotational plane, that is complex, random, or unstable are going to be more of our progression exercises and more of our black belt exercises. So everything on the right-hand side is what you would need to be a black belt, fast, or good at. You need to be good at moving fast, doing things standing, unsupported. And these are the things that we call life and sport. Everything on the left is how we would regress these exercises in order to progress to the hard stuff. So we would want to start everybody slow. We want to start on the ground. It's really hard to get hurt on the ground. We use support, whatever is easiest. We stay in the sagittal plane. In this straight ahead plane is the safest place we can be. We keep it simple. We keep it predetermined, and we make sure that you're stable. So if we start everybody there, we know that they're probably going to be safe, and then we can progress them over time to everything on the right here that is more difficult. So I'm going to use the example of a front squat and a hang clean. So hang clean was one of our big rocks for our athletes. So the screens, so this was the FMS on that sheet for front squat and hang clean, are in the FMS, the overhead squat. Also, because you have to get your arms up or arms over your head, right? Arms up, we need to know what your shoulder mobility is. So that's the shoulder mobility screen. And then I've added 2 more screens. So like I said, we used the FMS, but I've also added my own. And this is where the challenge, again, is for you to make your own checklists, your own regression progression sheets. I have just a regular body weight squat, and then I have testing for their ankle mobility. I have a tape measure here. You can use a ruler. You want about 3 inches of ankle mobility. So that's knee over middle toe with the heel on the ground. You can say I have about 4 to 4.5 inches of ankle mobility, which means I have enough to do everything in the gym that involves knee dominant movements. So single leg squats, skater squats, walking, running. So that means my knee can go over my toe and I'll be fine. Now, if you didn't have the ability to do this, then knee over toe might not feel so good. And it'll have to come from either your back, your knee, patella, ankle. So there's a lot of different ways. But you can see here I have the adequate ankle mobility. I have the adequate hip mobility. Now, if you saw my shoulders and if you've taken a CFSC with me, I always demonstrate my shoulders cannot do this. So I don't have the requisite shoulder mobility. I do hip and ankle, but not shoulders. So that's what a screen will tell you. Our soft tissue considerations, we want everything that would help that screen, right? So we have glutes, hips, calves, because they could limit your ankle mobility. We have quads, and then we have upper back and lats, which could limit your ability to get your arms up or get your elbows up for a hang clean or front squat. Mobility considerations, we have hip stretching, we have T-spine stretching and lat stretching, we have ankle stretching, and then we have floor slides can be a mobility or a stability drill. Stability, patterning, warm-up, and corrective. Now I lump all of these together because a lot of them are trying to get the same end goal, just depending on where the individual is at. So if I'm unstable, these are stability drills. If I've never exercised in my life, these are patterning drills. If I'm a really good athlete, but I just woke up and I'm just getting to the gym, these are just warm-up drills. I've already have good stability and patterning, but I'm just warming up my tissues for lifting heavy stuff later. And then if I have poor mobility or my FMS screen said I have a weak core, these are all corrective exercises. So you grab, remember, we're trying to create a program that grabs 80% of our people. And that's what these stability, patterning, warm-up, and corrective drills will do. Fitness. Now, the reason why these are fitness drills and these aren't fitness drills, these aren't fitness drills, and these aren't fitness drills are nobody ever got fit or strong by foam rolling, by mobilizing, or by doing breath drills and stability drills or corrective exercises. You do not get fast or strong by doing those things. Those things, soft tissue, mobility, stability, and patterning drills get you to the arena. They make it so you can get into those positions, but they don't get you into the game. This gets you into the game, speed and strength. But you need to have these three first. Because if you don't have mobility and you don't have stability and you try to do fitness, you're going to get hurt eventually. We use the analogy of bending a credit card. So if I bend a credit card once, it gets a crease in it, but it doesn't snap. You do that 40, 50 times, eventually the credit card snaps in half. And that's what happens to your joints when you force people into positions. So if somebody comes in and it's their first day and you make them a black belt, they're probably going to get injured at some point because they didn't get the white belt, the purple belt, the blue belt, the orange belt, the brown belt before they got their black belt because they didn't honor those boxes. They didn't check those boxes. So for fitness, things that make you strong and make you fit and make you fast are heavy goblet squats, box jumps, hurdle jumps, hang cleans, front squats, and single leg squats, which are all part of this checklist. Remember, your end goal is up to you. Our end goal for athletes is always hang cleans. For our adults, it's goblet squats. We don't back squat, we don't wall ball, we don't overhead squat, and we don't barbell snatch. But if you wanted to do those things, totally fine, as long as you honor all those boxes first. So that means you can see down here, I have back squat or wall ball and overhead squat and barbell snatch in gray because we don't do them, but there are 6 other boxes I would make you check before I let you do a back squat, a wall ball, an overhead squat, or a barbell snatch, because those require the most joints, they require the most stability, and they require the most strength. So you can see here, our big rock that we started from the beginning was front squat and hang clean. Our FMS screen is going to be overhead squat, and then I would include ankle mobility and body weight squat here. Your soft tissue drills, if you should need soft tissue because you're lacking mobility, would be foam roll or lacrosse ball, your calves, hips, T-spine, or lat. So all the things that help you get into a better overhead squat position or a better hang clean position or a better front squat position. Mobility are ankle mobility drills, hip mobility drills, and shoulder mobility drills. So pretty much everything. That's, as a trainer, you'll make your most money at the ankle, hip, and shoulder. Warm up and stability drills, feet on the wall or bench breathing. I'm going to show pictures of all these and explain why these are warm-up drills in a second here. Just bear with me with the list or the checklist. We have quadruped hip rock would come second. So now we're moving to all fours. So now we have gravity acting on our spine. Then we have supported squats. Supported squats can be with somebody holding your hands. You can use a band to support the pattern, or you could use a rack or a towel against a rack to support your squat pattern. Fitness would be goblet squats to a box. We always go to a 12-inch box or about parallel for every person. We use Eric's pads to adjust the height because we want to ensure that everybody goes to the proper depth, and the box makes sure that nobody cheats. Then we have box jumps, squat jumps, and hurdle jumps, which are all progressions because they're speed squats. So think of it as you're squatting or jumping and landing in a squat position. So now we're adding speed to the equation. So that increases the difficulty. And then the final is we have strength and speed, which is going to be hang clean for us. Now, the other thing I've added to these checklists are standards. Because the number one question I get in the CFSC now is, how do I know when it's time to move on to the next exercise? So how do I know that this person is strong enough to go from goblet squat to jumping or hang cleans? So for us, we want to see that you can goblet squat half your body weight, so 50% of your body weight for 10 reps. So if I'm 100 kilos, that's a 50 kilo kettlebell or dumbbell or 2 kettlebells in a goblet squat for 10 reps. Now, yes, that is a lot of weight, but if you make that your standard, a lot of people will get there and they'll work towards it. Because a lot of people don't, no one comes into your gym or your training session and says, I want to know how much I can goblet squat. They all say, I want to know how much I can bench press and how much weight I can lose and how to get a bigger bunda, right? What we need to do is set guardrails or set standards or goals for people. So for us, goblet squat, half your body weight for 10. Then we're going to move to explosive jumping. Then we're going to move to hang cleans. So our goal for hang clean is 1.25 to 1.5 times your body weight for 5 reps. 1.25 to 1.5 times your body weight for 5 reps. And now every single exercise that we do or that we find is a big rock, I've created checklists, progressions like this for each exercise. So our big rock, our functional movement screen, soft tissue mobility, warm up, fitness, and then standards of when we know to move on to the next exercise. So you set your standards and goals. The big thing about standards is that we do them all off of body weight. We used to do them male versus female. We used to have high school, college, adult, 50 plus, and we used to have all these different categories. And the problem with that was that we were limiting people's abilities based off of just a bucket that we threw them in. So if we just make it all even, where it's only about your body weight, then it's easier to do the numbers that way, and it makes sure that we don't hold anybody back. And I will say with that, if you have a weight loss client, so say you have somebody who's 300 pounds, but they want to be 200 pounds, or they're, say, 150 kilos and they want to be 100 kilos, you're going to use their end goal body weight as their working number for the percentage. So say I'm 150 kilos, but I want to be 100 kilos. That means my 50% body weight will be off of that 100 kilo number, my end goal weight, because that would not be nice of me to use their current weight if they are overweight as their working number. So that is the only exception to the rule, is if they are a weight loss client, then you use their end goal weight as the working number. Now, why does breathing on your back turn into hang clean? So you can see here, I have this gentleman doing 90-90 breathing on his back. Now, if I turn him over, it's easier to see this visually. If I turn him over, he is now doing a quadruped hip rock, right? So now we're progressing, which he is now, I flipped him over and I put a box underneath him and a dumbbell. So 90-90 breathing is just goblet squatting on your back. Quadruped hip rock is just goblet squatting on an all fours position. So then I have Kevin goblet squatting, which is just barbell squat or barbell front squat, right? So I could have taken Kevin here as well, but I've taken 90-90 breathing again. So the 90-90 breathing position puts you in the perfect squat position, which is why we start there before we add weights. I'll show another example of this. So single leg deadlift. This will be my final example, and then we can take lots of questions. Big rock, we have single leg deadlift. FMS is an active straight leg raise. So the active straight leg raise in the functional movement screen is single leg deadlift on your back, just in a much safer, easier environment. But if you can't do it on your back, you're not going to magically stand up and be able to do it with weights. So that's why we screen first, because I want to see that you can do it slow, easy, and on your back before I add weights and go faster, harder, and bigger. Now, soft tissue. So if it's a soft tissue limitation, why you can't get into a single leg deadlift position, it could be hamstring, it could be adductor, you could lacrosse ball your hamstring. There's a lot of other things. It could be hip, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to say it's hamstring or adductor. Your mobility drills, so glute and hip flexor stretching, supported leg lower, which is in the certified functional strength coach course. Then we would move to warm-up stability and patterning. So an unsupported leg lower. So that's the leg lower drill on your back with no band. So there's a lot more core involved. Then we would go to PVC pipe or TRX supported single leg reach, box or bench supported single leg reach, and then unsupported. So just a body weight single leg reach for 8 reps. Once you can do 8 perfect reps with your body weight, then we can move on to fitness. Fitness exercises are going to be a med ball single leg deadlift. We usually reach a 6 to 8 pound med ball in front of us. Then 1 kettlebell, our standard is going to be 40% of your body weight in one hand for 8 reps. So if I'm 100 kilos, that's a 40 kilo kettlebell. Yes, it's heavy. It's supposed to be because it's a standard. We want to ensure, remember, you don't get to jump from being a white belt to a black belt. There's 6 or 7 other belts you need to get before you get to the black belt. It's the same thing here with our exercises. Then finally, we would move to 2 kettlebells in each hand, or 1 kettlebell in each hand, and that's 80% of your body weight. So if I'm 100 kilos, that's 2 40 kilo kettlebells or 80 kilos total. So yeah, that's heavy, but we have a lot of males and females who are able to get to 80% of their body weight if they work towards it. Finally, it would be a barbell single leg deadlift, but you only get to the barbell. Notice how hard I make it to get to touch a barbell. If you can do 80% of your body weight with two dumbbells or 2 kettlebells. So you can get there, but not a lot of people will. But you're honoring the system and you're honoring their mobility, their stability, their strength, their fitness before you start putting performance on top of those things. So I see that I have one question here. I would love for everyone to start throwing their questions in now. Again, I've given you less than 20 minutes of a 6-hour presentation or seminar. I will show everyone real quick the other standards that we have, and then I'll add these pictures in just for fun because the pictures help. Leg lower or active straight leg raise on your back turns into 1 leg downward dog, right? If everyone wanted to know what I look like in a sports bra, that's what I look like in a sports bra. 1 leg downward dog is just active straight leg raise on your back. If I flip myself over, that's a single leg deadlift. If I put myself at this angle here and I was to move my other leg with that leg, that looks a lot like trap bar deadlift. That looks a lot like rowing. So rowing actually comes last in the checklist. So if I'm here, if I go back up here, rowing would be number 7 or 8 down here. Because rowing is deadlifting multiple times in a row under fatigue, right? Where does everyone go when they start fatiguing or getting tired from rowing? They go right to their lumbar spine. So rowing actually comes last in the checklist. Now I'm going to show everyone the a lot to get through here. Like I said, there's 150 slides. So I'm going to go back to our end goals here. So the standards that we have. So for our adults, can you farm or carry your body weight either for 60 seconds or 100 yards, or that would be 80 meters, I guess. So 80 meters or 60 seconds. Can you hang from a pull-up bar for 1 minute? Can you deadlift the biggest kettlebell we have, which is 110 pounds for 10 reps? Can you kettlebell swing 35% of your body weight for 12? Can you push up or do a proper perfect push-up touching your chest to a yoga block 10 times? Can you do 5 chin-ups or dumbbell row 40% of your body weight for 8? Can you get your feet elevated on a box and then do on a 12-inch box and do 10 body weight ring rows or TRX rows? Can you goblet squat 50% of your body weight for 10? Can you Turkish get up 25% of your body weight for 3? Can you goblet lateral lunge or curtsy lunge 30% of your body weight for 8? And then can you half kneel press, one knee down with one arm, 30% of your body weight for 8? Those are our goals for our adults and what we want our athletes to be able to do before they move on to our athlete end goals. For our athletes, not our adults do none of these things because the risk is not worth the reward for us. Athletes, we want to see, can they trap bar double their body weight for 5? 1.25 to 1.5 times their body weight for 5 in the hang clean, the chin up, the bench press, and the rear foot elevated split squat. So we'll use pounds here. I can't do the kilogram conversions in my head with these numbers. 200-pound college hockey player would trap bar 400 pounds for 5, hang clean 250 to 300 pounds for 5, chin up their body weight plus 50 to 100 pounds for 5, bench press 250 to 300 pounds for 5, and rear foot elevated split squat 250 pounds to 300 pounds for 5. If you had an athlete that could do that, you would be a very happy and a great coach. And if your athlete was not good at their sport, it wasn't because they were not strong or fit in the gym. It was because they sucked at their sport, not that they were too weak or that they were not fit. It was that they were actually just bad at playing the sport. If you had adults that could do all of these things, you would be a very happy coach and they would be a very happy client, because the chances of them getting hurt doing anything in their life is very slim if they are this fit and resilient and robust to do all of those things. So what now? My challenge to all of you is make your own checklists for every single exercise that you do, and your programming will be so much simpler. You'll only have to make one program and bring it to the masses, and then use your art of coaching to make better decisions or different decisions to do other things, as opposed to writing hundreds and hundreds of programs per year to try to keep everybody happy. So Felix, I don't see you, but I know you're there, unless you're playing with your toy cars. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and we're 40 minutes in. So I see that we have one question here, but I'd love for people to ask more questions. I can show more slides depending on what people ask for questions.
Okay.
Felix, is there anything you would like me to add there? Or
no, I just will read here the Q&A box. It's from Vinny, our CFSC master coach.
Mm-hmm.
He's asking if you're already training athletes that already use the methodology for the minimum of, let's say, 6 months, and for any reason a new group start to participate of the same session of this training, how do you recommend to do it? And do you apply the regressions that we have on the program for this audience, from the most experienced for the most experienced athlete or client, or do you start from the basic? Like the first week, you start from the basic with the new clients. Make sense for you, my question? Sorry, because to translate at the same time is not easy.
I got you. Okay. So the way I want you to think about this, we'll use two exercise examples. Say I have 20 athletes in my group. All 20 athletes are going to bench press today. 5 of those athletes have bad shoulders. 2 of them have really bad shoulders where they can't lift anything. So 2 of those people are going to one-arm dumbbell bench and then do shoulder rehab over here. The other 3 people are going to do dumbbell bench because that doesn't hurt their shoulder. The other 15 athletes, say we have a brand new beginner. The brand new beginner is going to work with the people who do the lightest weights and practice. Then we have 10 athletes who have been training with me for 6 months and they're really badass. They're really good at benching. They're going to use percentages and I'm going to tell them the weights to do. Everybody is bench pressing. They're just doing their version of the bench press.
Got it.
Is Bruno translating or are you going to translate that?
No, Bruno is translating.
Okay, Bruno's translating. Okay, so the next exercise would be split squat. We have 20 athletes. We have 2 athletes with bad knees. We have 2 athletes with bad big toes. Big toe is a big limiting factor for split squats. So the athletes with bad knees are going to do supported split squats so that they can keep their knee vertical and their knee doesn't go forward where they get the knee pain. 2 of the athletes with the bad big toe are actually going to get to start on rear foot elevated split squat. So when you know the rules, you can break the rules because you're the coach. You get to make the decision. Remember, this only works for 80% of your people. 20% of your people aren't going to fall into this bucket. So that means those people have to start with their foot on a bench or a box because their big toe hurts so bad. And that could be because they broke their big toe, they have a pin in their big toe, they have a bunion, there's like all sorts of reasons. So 2 people assisted, 2 people skip some of the progressions and go right to foot up on the bench. Then say we have 5 athletes who are doing goblet split squat. You have 2 brand new athletes who are doing bodyweight split squat. And then you have, that would leave me with 6, 11. That would leave me with 9 badass athletes who are doing heavy weights for rear foot elevated split squat with 2 dumbbells. So I have 20 athletes. Everybody is doing a split squat. Just where are they on the checklist and where are they on their belts? So I have a couple white belts, I have a couple blue belts, I have a couple orange belts, and then I have a couple black belts. What you don't want to do is you never have a black belt and a white belt fight each other, right? Your first day in class, you don't have white belts fight black belts because the black belts would kill the white belts. Black belts can teach white belts. Teaching is different than fighting. So you can put your brand new people in the group with the black belts and say, hey, black belts, can you help this new white belt learn how to bench press to make your life easier? So I have 20 athletes and we're all bench pressing and we're all split squatting, but they're all getting whichever part of the checklist they need the most. And at some point you earn the right? You earn your black belt. You can kind of do whatever you want and you can go heavy and hard almost as much as you want to, but not 80% of your people are not going to get there or start there.
Got it.
So that's how I would, and I use 2 exercise examples. You can do that for every single exercise. Dead bugs, squats, deadlifts, push-ups, presses, chin-ups. Every single exercise can be scaled like that.
Very good. Very good. Thank you.
Oh, now we have 11 questions. Nice.
Yes.
Let's go.
Another question. When you talk about one program is the same that you say for a daily program?
Yep. You can do this two ways. So I know gyms that do one workout a day. So a workout of the day, like a CrossFit type gym. And they do one workout and then they scale the workout for everybody that comes into the gym that day. I also know programs that do it every 4 weeks. So for us, for CFSC and MBSC, we go every 4 weeks, which we call a phase. So that means we only write 12 workouts a year and we build on each phase. And if wherever you come in, so say I have athletes start in January, they start on phase 1, February, they go to phase 2, they go to phase 3. If I have an athlete start in March, they start at phase 1 like everybody else. But because the phases build off of each other, everybody can train at the same time. We're never doing completely random things. Now, some gyms do that because that's how their business model works. Our business model works on one program and people start at certain times. Other business models write a brand new program every single day and use their regressions or progressions that way. So I can't say that one way is better than the other. It depends on your business model and it depends on who you're working with. So for adults, generally doing random workouts, I shouldn't say random, but doing one workout a day where you write a new workout every day for adults is generally okay. For athletes, because you're trying to progress to something, you need more of your phases and it is not very helpful for athletes. But adults just want to be healthy and feel better and move better. If you're working with an adult who wants performance, then you're going to have to do it by phases. So there's no correct answer there, unfortunately. It's whatever logistics you have. So you can do workout of the day, or you can do 4-week programs where you build it out in phases.
Got it. Good. Felipe here with 2 questions. The first question is, what is the best exercise to check ankle mobility?
Yep.
And how you see this during the squat, or where do you see the biggest mistakes? And same question, but now for thoracic mobility. What is the best exercise to check thoracic mobility?
Okay, so for ankle, it's just a simple ankle mobility drill against a wall, like I showed you, with a ruler. So you put a ruler on the ground and then you move your big toe back. And again, we're looking for 3 to 4 inches of ankle mobility. If you have less than that, you're probably going to see a couple different things, especially in a goblet squat or a bodyweight squat. Either their feet collapse in, so their arches collapse, so they try to find mobility through their feet, or they get knee pain because they're trying to get the mobility from their kneecaps or their patellas, or they round their spine because when you run out of ankle mobility, you have to get the rest of it either from your foot, knee, hips, or back. The simplest thing, again, is foot on the ground, ruler. Can your knee touch the wall without your heel coming up off the ground? So that was that photo I showed. If it's more than 3 inches, you're probably fine. If it's less than 3 inches, you better do some ankle mobility drills. The number one exercise to see ankle mobility is skater squat.
Okay.
Skater squat requires the most ankle mobility and ankle stability. But what I like about it is that it's a single leg exercise, and you'll notice that everybody has different ankles. So there's people with 2 inches of ankle mobility on one side and 5 on the other. That means when they squat, they probably shift or rotate to their better side. When you skater squat, you are not able to, you can't cheat. So now you'll see your limitations. So skater squat is the best exercise for ankle mobility strength, but also as another screen to see how they use it during a functional movement. Because some people will be able to mask it during a goblet squat, but your regressions are at a heel plate. A heel plate takes your ankle mobility limitations away. So there's a way to regress for the poor ankle mobility. For thoracic spine, the easiest thing to do is a floor slide. So if you get on the ground and you can make a W, and then you go up and that's all the mobility you have, that's the easiest sign for like, oh, I should probably not lift stuff over my head or pull stuff over my head. So this is my personal end range for, like I was mentioning, I have terrible shoulder mobility. If I go any further than that, either my arms have to come forward or my head has to go forward and I have to come off my chair and use my low back. So floor slide, you'll get a lot of people that lay down for floor slide and they do this. They can't even get their backs of their elbows to the ground. That person needs to just probably horizontal press and landmine press. That person should not be pressing or pulling over their head whatsoever because they don't have the check marks to get over their head without getting injured eventually, right? You don't get hurt today's workout. You don't get hurt next week. You get hurt workout number 20, number 30, 2 months from now, but it's going to happen. So ankle mobility is wall, use a wall and a ruler to test, or skater squat, which is just a one leg deadlift or a one leg squat. And then shoulder floor slides.
Thoracic, yeah.
Thoracic.
Thoracic.
Thoracic shoulder floor slides on the ground.
Okay, good. From Elton Marinato, do I need to do all these? What is here?
All the checklists.
Do I need to do all these assessments for the checklist with all my clients? And what is the recommendation to reassess?
So again, when you know the rules, you can break the rules. Now you should have done these assessments from the start with your people. If you haven't, that's fine. What I do is I put them all in the warm-up. So, hey, guess what? Your warm-up drills today are ankle mobility and shoulder floor slides. So now I can see my movement screen in the warm-up, and if they're earning those things before I'm going to press or do heavy skater squats in their lifting program later on. So you can kind of sprinkle it in their warm-up. You can put these checklists like on a clipboard and carry them around with your client's name and then check them off, whether they did them or didn't. Also, again, if you know the rules, you can break the rules. So sometimes you get to make the decision if they bypass something and go to something more difficult. If you already have clients who are goblet squatting with a decent amount of weight and you don't want to go back to the regressions, that's your choice. Just know that there are things you need to be able to do beforehand that ensure safety, results, that people have success. So you don't have to go back to the beginning if you already have people doing these things, but they're good to have around just to use either as warm-up drills, as filler exercises in between lifting exercises. And I would suggest that you have a movement screen that you do with new clients. Now, if you want to retest, I suggest retesting the things that they're not good at every 90 days or every 12 weeks. So it takes about 12 weeks to 90 days for somebody to get really good at something. And if you've been training consistently, you should have improved in 12 weeks. Also, if you do these for a warm-up drill every day, so if your shoulder mobility and ankle mobility are bad, and I make you do ankle mobility drills and shoulder floor slides every single workout, I get a test every single workout to see if you're improving or not, if it's getting better, if you're getting worse, and I prep you to lift stuff over your head and to squat and do things that involve ankle mobility in the strength portion or conditioning portion of your workout. So again, it's one of those, like, there's no exact answer. It's you need to do what's best for your people.
Got it. From Claudia, what is this? From Claudia Cecilia. Do you see some difference, or do you have some classification difference between the load for girls and for boys?
No, because, so that was a big section that I skipped over for today. The reason why is because we used to say for girls, they only had to do this, and we actually made it way too easy for them. So, for example, the women's Olympic hockey team came in, and we used to make, for females, it was a band-assisted chin-up for 5 was our standard. And the women's Olympic hockey team came in, and every single girl could do chin-ups with a 10-kilo plate or dumbbell around their waist. So we made it way too easy for them, and we didn't make the goals difficult enough for our females. And our females are just as strong as our males if we go by body weight. So generally, females are going to weigh less than males. So therefore, the body weight percentage keeps it the same for everybody. Also remember, if it's an overweight male or female, we're using their end goal body weight that they want to lose. We're not using their current body weight. So we adjust based off of body weight for that reason, because when we split it up into genders, or we split it up into age, oh, you're over 50, or oh, you're under 20, we were making it either way too hard or way too easy for people. So we just went only body weight. Now, some people will never get there. Like if you're 80 years old, you're probably not going to 50% goblet squat your body weight. Like that's just right. But it's the mindset that we want to have. So again, you're making your own challenge, your own checklist. If you only train women, then I would change this. But I don't only train women. I train males, females. I train professional athletes. I train high school athletes. I train just your regular average person. I train people in their 80s and 90s. I train kids who are 12, 13. So again, I'm casting a really big net. If you train only women in their 40s, you better have a different checklist than me. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't use my checklist. I would use the idea, but I would not use my checklists.
Makes sense. Good. From Junior Caldeira, how do you recommend the progressions of loads? How can we increase the load? What is the recommendations to increase the load thinking about progressions?
Never more than 10% in a week.
Okay.
Generally. So 5 to 10% per week. Now, when you are a younger athlete or a new trainee, like you have a young training age and you haven't trained very much, it can go 5 to 10% for 12, 24 weeks. Mm-hmm. At some point, you'll hit a plateau and you will not be able to go 5 or 10% per week. So again, 5 to 10% for the first probably 24 weeks to a year of a new trainee or somebody who's just getting back from their off season. After that, when you start reaching your genetic potential or you start reaching your strength plateaus, you're going to be looking at a lot of doing numbers and percentages where you're going up maybe 1 to 5% per year. So at some point, right, like if you run a marathon in 3 hours, it's going to take a lot. It's easy to go from running a marathon in 8 hours down to 4 hours, right? But it's not easy to go from 4 to 3 and then 3 to 2.5. That's a lot harder to do. It's the same thing with picking weights. So if I have a brand new client and I give them a weight and it's 15 pounds, I may go to 17.5 next week, then 20, then 22, then 25, then 30, then 35, then 40, then 45, then 50. And then at some point, I'm not going to be able to go 60 to 70. It'll be too heavy. And that will take a longer time to do. So 5 to 10% in the beginning. And then later on, it's just 1 to 5% at a time.
Very good. From Carlos Pazos. The beginning of his sentence, I don't agree, but I read for you how he wrote. Okay. If the evolution for difficult tasks is from the percentage of your load, how you qualify, and if someone have some evolutions or improvements. How do you assess these clients? Is in every session, or do you create a goal and you write this goal and you go from this goal? Do you understand the question?
Yeah.
Because I don't, in my opinion, but I'm not the master coach here. You are the master. I don't believe that just from the improvements of loads is a sign of improvements.
Right. Okay, well, there's a lot of things here. So I'm going strictly off of strength and condition. Well, I'm going strength right now. I have conditioning standards that are part of this. I didn't go into my conditioning standards. So I want to see that you get stronger. My FMS screen has, the FMS is a checklist that shows me that you improved your movement capacity. These show me your strength capacity. I have conditioning checklists that show me that you've improved your fitness or conditioning levels. I take a resting heart rate. So resting heart rate, if your resting heart rate is above 60, you are not in good cardio shape. We need to get that under 60. So I have a checklist for hundreds of things. If your goal is to lose 100 pounds, I better have a checklist to do that. So if you want to lose 100 pounds, or let's say you want to lose 50 kilos, you should lose 1 kilo a week. So that means you should lose 50 kilos in a year. That's a checklist. Every week, I want to make sure you hit that 1 kilo. So there's body weight, or there's weight loss. There's like, I don't make their athletic goals though, right? That's their sport coach's job. So maybe they say like, oh, I want to score 10 goals this year. Okay, that's great. That's their goal. That's not a fitness goal that I can make decisions on. I want to say, hey, I want to see you run a 1.6 second 10-yard dash. I want to see you vertical jump 30 inches. I want to see you goblet squat half your body weight. I want you to get down 20 pounds, and I want your body fat percentage to be this, and I want your resting heart rate to be under 50, and I want your, let's say, what's the beep test? I want your beep test to be whatever. So again, I have a checklist that goes through all of those things, and then I need to know how much time I have. So if I have 8 weeks to do this, you're not going to lose 20 kilos in 8 weeks. Like that's just, it's not realistic or healthy. But if I have 52 weeks, that's different. So I need to know where I'm at and then work backwards. So I know I only showed strength standards and strength goals, but I have hundreds of goals and checklists for everything else. I'm just presenting you the idea.
Got it. Good. From Fabio Hildebrand. He knows that depends a lot from the individual biological from each client. But if you're a client that never perform physical activity, how many times will get he or she to get a good level of conditioning following your checklist? Let's say nobody. Huh?
I need some clarification.
Let me try to explain another way. Let's say someone never performed any exercise.
Yeah.
And how many weeks or months do you believe that we can see a good results following your checklist? You know that is very difficult answer, but some ideas.
Yeah. So 12 weeks, you should make a significant difference.
Okay.
You should start seeing and feeling the differences in 6 weeks though. So seeing or feeling the differences in 6 weeks, 12 weeks should be a pretty drastic difference. Now, that's if you train 3 days a week. 2 days a week, 1 day a week, might not see any changes at all. Yes. Or it might take 6 months to a year. If you train 3 days a week and follow these checklists, you should see significant improvement in 12 weeks' time. Then
you don't skip any session.
You don't skip any sessions. Now, and then when you go to the next one, you should see it again in another 12 weeks. That means you can make drastic change 4 times a year. Now, remember, at some point, you're going to hit a plateau where the checklist, right? You're at the end of the checklist. You are now a black belt. It is now about maintaining your brown belt and black belt and keeping it where it is. Sometimes you'll be able to progress, and some things you might just never be good at. But brand new beginner, you should see a lot of change in those checklists in 12 weeks if they're training consistently and you're following things correctly.
Good, good. From Vinicius Vieira here. Good afternoon. My name is Vinicius. I'm at the last year of my bachelor degree of exercise science. Do you have some good advice for someone to start on this fitness industry? Not just use your checklist. That is very good idea. Excellent. Congratulations. So he's looking for another advice.
Well, number one, yeah, well, there's this. So you've got the checklists and you've got the CFSC course. Now, again, like what I like, why we created this course is because you get live coaching, real live coaching, and you have to coach other people who are living and breathing. Whereas many other certifications, you just sit down and take an exam and you're done. So you get 20 hours of pre-material, all the books, and then you go and take a 10-hour course with other like-minded coaches, which is very important because you're going to create a network of people. So one of my answers is that you create a network. The other answer is that you find a system that you can work under, and then once you master that system, you can then add to it. So you're not going to do anything exactly like I do it, exactly like Felix does it. That's okay. But we should all have a equal understanding, which is CFSC checklists, and then you can start adding in your specifics or your experience, or go take another system. There's lots of other great fitness systems out there, and sprinkle that stuff in to what you already have. My big things for a brand new coach, I have 3 of them. Number 1, spend 10% of your income on continuing education. Yes, when you're young, you spend 10%. I'm not joking, 10% of your income on getting better and meeting new people, and go to live courses. I know we're on a webinar right now because of the circumstances that we're in, but go meet live human beings. Number 1. Number 2 is you train everyone and everything that breathes or walks. Your mom, your cat, your dog, the trash can, your best friend, everybody. You train everybody and everything. Do not limit to yourself to, I'm only going to train soccer players. 1, you won't get as much experience. You won't get as much exposure. And 2, you might become a strength coach for soccer later, but you'll get there quicker if you train more people and you have more snapshots, at least in the first 3 years of your career. The final one is find a mentor. Now, my mentor was Michael Boyle, Coach Boyle. Then my mentor was Dan John. Now my mentors are all my CFSC friends, like Felix here. Felix, your mentor was whoever it was growing up.
You are my mentor.
Well, okay, so there's one. But then, right, our mentors move on. So eventually you learn and get all you can from that person, and then you move to the next mentor, and then the next mentor. But you have to have one from the beginning, because a mentor is somebody who's already doing what it is you want to do. Why wouldn't you want to hitch your wagon to that person and learn as much as you can? So instead of starting at the bottom of the stairs, you start at the top of the stairs. That's what you want to do. So your 3 things are: spend 10% of your income on continuing education. This first. Train everyone and everything. You don't get to say no. You say yes to everybody. You only get to say no after you've been training people for 5 years. Train everyone. Do it for free in the beginning and then start charging them. And then the final one is find a mentor. And I don't care who it is, just somebody who's doing what it is you love to do and is making money doing it. Don't do it for somebody who's doing it for free. Find somebody who's making a living doing this, because you know that it's sustainable. people don't want to talk about money, but if you don't make any money doing this, what's the point of doing it? Right? It's a fun hobby. I love working out, but if I'm going to make it a career, I have to make money or else I can't feed my family. So those are my 3 big things about a new trainer.
Very good.
Being a new trainer.
From Fabio Campos, how have you been creating some adaptations for this checklist process with this quarantine time? If you are using a video class, for example, and because we don't have physical classes, everything is virtual.
Yeah.
And how do you do to assess, reassess, design, correctly, regress, progress every exercise? How have you been doing this process?
All right. Okay, we ready for a little screen share here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to take everyone through one of my online workouts. So it's really difficult to do. And I think that's what we've all been learning here, is that online training is not in-person training, and we're all doing the best we can. Test, retest is really difficult to do, especially if they don't have the equipment to do it. So I haven't really been testing, retesting unless it's like a body weight movement, because my clients don't have enough kettlebells, enough dumbbells, and that's just the nature of what we're doing right now. Test, retest is not easy online. Regressions, progressions though. So I will show everyone one of my workouts that we've created. So me and 3 other coaches actually teach these classes, and we do all of our classes on Zoom and on Google Slides, so that as the coach, I can sit here and watch you do your exercises, and I don't have to do them with you, and I can coach you up. And notice that we have a lot of the regressions and progressions. So we do standing circuits and lying down circuits. Standing and lying down, so you only have to move your computer or phone once. If you go standing, sitting, running, jog, and you're moving all around, you'll never be able to see them. And we do everything for time. Everything is 30 seconds. Is it ideal? No. But in order to do a group class, everyone has to be going at the same time and stopping at the same time. If you're training people one-on-one, you can do reps. But I just want to give everyone an idea here that this is how we're doing it. Maybe a little food for thought I'm going to present. So you can see here we have the slides. I'm going to go to round 1, tall the base. So we have the videos. The videos will play. This is the exercise I want you to do. When I hit the next button, this timer is going to count down to 30 seconds. Everybody go. So we're all going for 30 seconds. They get to see the video and how it's done. Great job, everybody. We're moving to the next exercise. Now on some of these, we actually have the regressions and progressions built into the slides. So I say, here, I'll find an example here. All right, so everyone has a straight arm plank, so everybody's training with me right now. And again, this is not an ideal world, but this is the best we've done, or we've figured out to do, is single leg straight arm push up for 30 seconds. Okay, if you can't do that, we've called it off script. Your regression is gonna be just a regular straight arm plank, like you're doing a push up. If it's too easy, then I want you to do this progression, which is a straight arm side arm or straight arm side plank. So that'll be the progression, regression. Everybody else, we're doing this exercise here where you're in a plank position, your feet are wider than your shoulders, and you're going to reach one arm out to the side, hold it for 3, and then switch sides. So we're gonna do 10 total. Everybody starting in 3, 2, 1, and then I start the timer, go. So what that means, we've got our regressions, we've got our progressions, we've accommodated for everybody, and then everybody's starting and stopping at the same time. And that's how we've done our group training. Test, retest. Honestly, I haven't done it because none of my clients have the correct equipment that we need, unfortunately, unless it's like a straight leg raise or like a shoulder mobility screen. That's really all we can do.
Good. We have one more here.
Okay.
let's say, I don't know if I can cover all these questions, but let's pick a few more here. From Felipe, we know that you guys normally recommend 3 or 4 days per week, but in Brazil, we have the culture of people working out more days, sometimes 7, 6 days. Mm-hmm. What is the best strategy in your opinion? How can we design a good program for this situation?
Yeah, so this is tough. I've had a few clients like this myself. What I would end up doing, see, this is why you do it with a whiteboard behind you.
Good.
Let's see if it comes up. Okay, so we have, can you see that? 1.
Yeah, go 2, more for your left side.
4.
Right more. Good. Good. Thank you.
5, 6. Okay, so we have 7 days of workouts here. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. So what I'm going to do, we had 9 checklists, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick 2 main exercises to focus on per day. So day 1 is going to be push up and squat. Day 2 is going to be press and single leg deadlift. Day 3 is going to be bench and let's do lateral squat. So these are, I'm not going to do all these here, just to give you an idea. We're going to do 2 main focuses a day. And because you train 7 days a week, we're going to do 5 sets of 10 push-ups, 5 sets of 8 squats, and then 5 sets of this, 5 sets of that. So we're going to do more sets because you have more days to train. All of my warm-up, stability, my warm-up and stability is all going to go towards these 2 exercises, which your checklists, right? Your checklists have warm-up, stability, corrective. So I'm going to spend 25 minutes, actually. Soft tissue. So I'm going to go soft tissue warm-up and stability for 25 minutes. Then I'm going to do 5 sets of 10 push-up, 5 sets of 8 squat for 20 minutes. Which leaves me, so then over here, we'll pick 1 conditioning drill to do for 15 minutes. So I'm going to do 10 bike sprints for 10 on, 20 off. I'm going to do treadmill sprints. And then I'm going to do sleds here. And I got 15 minutes left. So I got 25 minutes of warm up and stability that all go towards push up and squats. I got 20 minutes of 5 sets of each of these. And then I've got 15 minutes of bike sprints to end. And you can do that for every single day for 7 days because you have enough main exercises or big rocks to cover all of these days for twice a day. Now, if I only have someone 2 days a week, then I have to try to get all of these exercises in 2 days. So I'm trying to cover way more bases, and I have to do way less sets if somebody only comes 2 or 3 days a week. But if they come 7 days a week, spread it out and spend more time mastering the exercise because you have more time. But I would say less than 3% of my clients train more than 3 days a week. So it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, good. So we don't have time, sorry, but we don't have time for all the questions. But I give you the last one, and I took the print screen of these questions, and I will send you email later with these questions. If you could help us, I will send for these guys later. Yep. But one good question here that I think is we can cover more people. Mm-hmm. Junior is asking, when you became a black belt, do you normally see people getting back to the basic exercises again? or you just stay on the black belt situation and just create progressions with some variabilities of these movements? I like this question.
Yes, 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 and yes, all of those things. So depending on, so when you reach that certain level of performance, say we are in season, say I'm playing games currently, like I have a game coming on Friday, I'm not going to do the black belt stuff. I might do 1 or 2 black belt exercises and heavy weights, but for the most part, I'm going to go back to my basics and just maintain the fundamentals, because I don't want to get hurt and I don't want to be too sore and I don't want to drain my energy because I'm already using that during my games. If I'm off season, then yeah, we're gonna put our pedal on the gas, or foot on the gas, and we're gonna go heavy and hard, probably for a 4 to 6 week time span. Then we'll take a week or 2 and just practice our fundamentals and basics. Now, if I train 7 days a week, I love Charlie Francis's high-low method. High-low method, all it means is day 1 is black belt exercises, day 2 is white belt exercises, day 3 will be blue belt exercises, day 4 will be black belt, white belt, blue belt. So you're doing your black belt, but you're also maintaining your fundamentals so that you don't burn out and that they support your black belt exercises. Now, if you have people who train year round, who don't play sports or don't have games, I would just go, they call it undulating periodization, which just means that some weeks and months you will be going really hard and difficult and heavy and black belt, and other months you'll stay white belt and blue belt and stay on the easier side and then go back, and you'll just toggle back and forth between the two. So the cool thing about the black belt, or phase 4, 5, 6, and 7, is that you can do kind of whatever you want. You can add variation, you can add weight, you can go back to the basics. Like, you have way more options when you reach these end goal standards. Then you don't have a lot of options when you're brand new and you don't have any idea how to move your body. But when you're strong and resilient and fit, you have a lot more options. So again, there's no specific answer to that. It depends on the person and where they're at in their season. Sometimes I go back to basics. Sometimes I push the envelope. Sometimes I go easier on certain exercises and then go really, really hard on, say, hey, we're going to take squats easier, but we're going to really go for your deadlift right now. And we're going to take it easy on bench, but I want to see how many chin-ups you can get. And when you have really good athletes and really fit people, you can do those things. But again, 80% of my people haven't gotten to black belt yet. So I spend most of my time working them there.
Good, good. So I think we can done here. Sorry about the time. If you could invite our best coach now, Rain.
Rain, come here. You want to come here for a second?
Brazilians have to meet Rain.
Rain, come here. Felix wants to say hi.
Hi.
Hey, Rain, how are you?
Good.
Good, good to see you. Do you have some videos for us coming this weekend?
Do you have any you want to do an exercise video this weekend?
Yeah.
Do you want to teach Felix how to do a push-up real quick? Can you show Felix how to do a push-up over here? Or a squat?
You are very good on push-ups.
You want to teach her how to squat? Teach him how to squat. So go right here and teach Felix how to squat. He doesn't know how.
Yeah, teach me there.
Teach him. Talk to him how.
You bend your legs.
Yeah. What else?
And then you pop up.
Ooh, you pop up. Ooh, that's a good cue.
Oh, very good.
Bend your legs and then pop up. What else? Where do you feel it?
You can feel it on your knees.
On your knees?
Or
Yeah.
your legs.
Oh, your legs. Yeah. We don't want to feel it in our knees. That would hurt. Right?
Very good.
Yes. So this is the future of strength and conditioning. I'll be retiring in 15 years and Rain will take my place, everybody.
Good, good. So Brendon, thank you so much for your time, buddy. Thank you so much for your expertise here. It was very good to have this opportunity with you. And thanks for Bruno. Thank you so much again, my friend. And all the Brazilians over there watching and learning. Thank you so much, guys. And tomorrow we have another webinar. Don't skip tomorrow. It'll be very good.
Tomorrow, you have Dan tomorrow?
Then tomorrow, talk about behavior change.
Beautiful. Enjoy, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Felix. Thank you, Bruno.
Thank you.
Appreciate you all.
Bye-bye, guys. Oh, make me host again.
Oh, make you host again?
Yeah.
All right. Make host. There we go. You're host now.
Very good. Thank you, buddy. Say hi for Jenny.
I will. Bye,
Thank
Felix.
you.
Bye, Bruno.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.